Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 6, Episode 26, where we watch Hype House, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm Chris Lorenz, and we're doing this virtually because these bitches don't wear deodorant, and they need to.
If I'm a hooker, I'm a very expensive one. This is Brian.
I'm Max, aka Little Maxi. Yo, what's up, TikTok? I got so many followers. Stay tuned to the end to figure out what happens.
All right. If this is your first time watching us, listening, we watch a different reality show each week, discussing it in minute detail, figuring if it's good or bad. Max, what show do we watch this week?
This week, we watched Hype House on Netflix. Get an inside look at social media's most talk about stars as they navigate love, fame, and friendship while creating content and living together. That's Hype House on Netflix.
Thank you, Max. Well, each week we discuss last week. So last week we posted a poll on Twitter. So if you want to tell us if you thought this was a good show or a bad show, let us know on Twitter. Last week we watched Judge Steve Harvey, and everyone thought this was a bottom third show. So they agreed with us. Not surprising.
You are redeemed listeners.
They're fucking better.
Yeah, don't watch that show. Anyway, on to this show. So this show is very interesting. It's following a group of people, but these group of people are TikTok influencers that all live in the same house, right?
They have lived in the house, or I guess some of them have either lived in the house,
but they're just associated. They're associated with the house at this point. You got to get some other influencers that aren't willing to live with like four bro dudes that apparently don't wear fucking deodorant. Like that sounds like a lot to commit to. No.
Yeah. Get some support for Breeze.
Now, I think before we dive into the people who do live in this house, I think we need to address the people who no longer live in the house, which are the only people really who have had successful hype on TikTok.
I have the list.
So it's Charli D'Amelio, it's Dixie D'Amelio. These are two girls who are sisters who got famous because they do dances. Addison Rae, I don't know why she's famous, but she's a Trumper, so fuck her. And Charli D'Amelio's ex, which is Little Huddy, aka Chase, and I think that covers it.
Yeah, according to this article, those are the four people that were on the show in the house that were made it big enough to leave the house and just leave them behind.
Yep, and now it's just a bunch of never quite made it, not has-beens, but really interesting set of people to focus on.
I mean, okay, so as we talk about this show, we are millennials. We are not Gen Zers. I like TikTok to a point, but I don't like TikTok.
You got to find the right little sub niche of it.
But what I can say is that TikTok shows me a lot of people dancing and a lot of and just a lot of weird stuff that I just it's fine, but it's not it
for me.
Yeah. It's just that it just isn't that great for me. Brian, do you like TikTok?
I like TikTok, but it's just trying to explore your deepest desires. Something that you might not even know you liked.
Well, I could tell you that I do I've been more into YouTube Shorts because they show me I just want to learn things usually. And TikTok has no desire to have me learn anything, I think. So
they have some. I subscribe to a few of the ones. I also subscribe to a lot of D&D meme ones. Those are pretty funny.
Okay. Max, do you like TikTok?
Overall, yes. It hasn't quite pinned me down, but there are enough sort of Vine type short, stupid videos that I am now pro TikTok.
Pro TikTok.
So I know. Follow us on TikTok at Who Put This On.
Oh,
podcast.
Yeah.
Is
that correct?
Yeah. Who Put This On podcast? Yeah.
Yeah. If you are also pro TikTok, follow us on TikTok.
Yeah, follow us. So I don't know any of the people. I don't know any of these people. I don't know who Charli D'Amelio is, or Addison Rae, or Chase Hudson is.
Okay. Does anybody know if there's supposed to be some backstory to this that is widely known? Like, is there another show? Is there like something else that happened?
I don't think so.
There is a separate D'Amelio family show we haven't watched. Maybe we need to do a sequel.
Oh yeah, we were trying to do that. We were waiting for Noah.
But that one we gotta do with Noah. Noah is unfortunately out of the game today. He is learning how to have twins.
Shout out to twins, twin life. Have fun.
There's some great movies on this though.
All right, let's get into this. So this Hype House, 2 years ago, this guy, what's his name? Thomas. His name's Thomas. He rented this house, I guess this one house in LA, and then they moved to this new house that they're in the show for. It's a $5 million house. It's apparently given to them via Bang, whatever Bang is. It's some sort
energy
of
drink, baby.
Like cola, energy drink, something. I don't know. I watched a lot of their TikToks on TikTok in the last couple months, and every one of them has a Bang energy drink in it, and it's just like people fooling around in a house. It's fine. I wouldn't call it good content. I don't think it's necessarily bad because they're like 5 seconds long, so it's not like, it's not insufferable. So
do you think this was a good investment on Bang's part?
Absolutely.
Probably. Like, I looked at like 2 months of videos, and some of them have like, one of them has like 20 million likes. So it's like, in terms of, you're renting this house. You didn't buy this house. I don't know. And you got a small commitment of like, I don't know, $100,000 a year or something. I don't know how much it would cost to rent $5 million house. But like enough of your marketing budget can go into that. Sure. Why not? But who knows, if they keep hemorrhaging members, then like it might not be. Like, is it worth it when Charli D'Amelio is in it? 1,000%. Is it, worth it with him not in it? Maybe. Like, those are the questions. Like, how many likes are these videos getting? And when you stop getting enough likes, then, you might not have a house anymore.
And
this show doesn't really reckon with that at all. I mean, it does, but it's like, doesn't talk about it. So like,
we only watched episode 1. Maybe eventually it does.
Yeah. So the big thing here is that this show talks about is Chase Hudson, Lil Huddy. He left the house 6 months ago before they started filming, and he's making his own album, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure his music is great. And apparently he's not been making any content for the Hype House, and Thomas is really feeling it because, I don't know, people like it. I assume people like Chase. I don't know.
It sounds like he wasn't doing any content at all, though.
I mean, that's fine. He doesn't live there. He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't. He could just make Hype House content, Brian. He doesn't need to make any content, like his own content anymore. If he's got an album deal and he wants to be a singer, sure.
Yeah, but
he also doesn't have to make any.
Like having a good social media presence. Sorry. Having a good social media presence is good for any brand, and I think he knows that. So just put it on.
Yeah, it seems like he's dealing up with his breakup with Charli, right?
Yeah,
so, like they were dating and now they're not. The song was about that as well. I don't know. Who knows? But like that's the undercurrent of that whole relationship, right? Is like Thomas needs Charli to post things so that they could keep that house, and right, like. Why else would he really care?
Yeah, it's definitely like, hey, let's enhance this deal that we have. Like, we can make so much more money. And then, like, I can't remember who was saying it, but they were like, oh, yeah, like, this could pay for his house as well. So, like, it would help everybody involved. And Charli has a ballin' house, or Chase has a ballin' house.
Yeah. So Thomas he's the head of the Hype House. He's the manager. He's quote unquote the dad. Yes. I don't know how old he was. I don't know if it ever said. He didn't seem very old.
No, a lot of these people seemed young, and that info also flew by. Like everybody's name immediately flew by, and same with our ages.
Yeah, we can go through some people. Let's go through some people. Thomas doesn't really do anything in this episode other than say he's the dad and want to talk to Vinny. It's not Vinny Chase. It's just Chase. So first person I got written down here is Vinny. This show starts out with Vinny facing a sumo wrestler. He's 18. He's got 12 million followers, and he's the newest member of the Hype House, I think. I think that's everything we ever learn about Vinny.
Kind of want to watch that content, though.
He's the fresh face, and they say bringing in new people is important as people move on.
Yeah, I'm sure. Then we got Alex. He is dating Coover.
Can we talk about how to spell that name?
It's Kouver.
It's insane.
Yeah. I saw it written before anyone said it, and I was like, that's odd. And then they said it, and I was like, that's even odder.
Like, I would buy like it's the latter part of the city Vancouver. It's weird, but sure. But no, it's Cover. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't
anyway, they got kicked out of their house, and they were on the streets, and they started making TikTok videos, and they got big together. So they're like in this relationship, and then they moved into this Hype House, and that's kind of their like overarching story. Max,
there is a piece of their backstory that you missed, which is Alex and Cover are a couple. Alex was in the mainland, Cover was in Hawaii, and he said, yo, Cover, come to the States. I have a place for us to crash. And she flies out, and he says, okay, we're crashing in my car. And she just goes along with it. And, they made it. But that's also fucking insane.
Young love, Max. It's young love.
They were double cross.
They must have been 18 at the time. They're 20 now. So it's like, the time flies for them. Alex also
good on them for making it.
Yeah. So Alex also says he spends $50,000 to $70,000 a month for his YouTube channel. So he's a baller.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money just for one YouTube video. But like, think about how much he must make from each one.
I mean, he's got he's 20, so he's probably not like doing this very businessy, but he's got a Rolls Royce and some other car. So like some other fancy car. So
should we talk about the cars?
Go ahead, Max.
I think the cars belong to the house.
You think so? You think the Rolls Royce is a Hype House car?
Potentially. I don't know, man. It was a very compelling lineup in the garage there.
But do you think that Bang is really like renting those cars for them too?
Well, okay, so if I may throw out an allegory, so to speak, on the hit Japanese reality show Terrace House, they provide 2 cars for the entire house. Why is this any different?
Interesting.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Side note on that, like when we initially started, I saw the bus and I was like, "Oh, is this it? Is this like it's Nord Love Wagon?"
If only. Anyway, we'll never know.
Well, I mean, Alex, according to this article, his name's Warren. Is that his last name? Alex Warren?
Alex Warren.
Yeah. I heard Alex Horn at some point and I was very confused. But he said, I know it sounds so dumb. You're a 20-year-old millionaire. What do you have to be depressed about? So it seems like he's a millionaire, according to that statement.
Yeah, that's a pretty good win. Like,
I mean, if you're spending $1 million a year on your YouTube channel, you got to be making more than $1 million a year.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're not making money. You're losing it. This is how math works.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
But yeah, I think the first thing we saw was him like jumping a car and then like ramming another car, just like Demolition Derby style.
Yeah. Well, that was his like YouTube video channels, I think, do that. not is that related? That's not related to the Hype House, but it is related to the Hype House. That's what's kind of weird.
There's definitely a hashtag Hype House. Maybe I should go find these videos.
Yeah, we didn't internet corner that. I just internet cornered the TikTok videos. Anyway, who else do we have here? Let's see. We've got Nikita. Nikita, she's 25. She's the dragon. She's a trans woman. She lives in the quote unquote basement, but according to this other article, she does not live at the Hype House. And she, doesn't wear a whole lot of clothes in this show. Wears a lot of heels, just like a pretty woman on TikTok. A lot of TikToks with pretty women on them doing makeup and stuff. That's her.
This was one of the names I had heard of previously, but mostly from like TikTok person attacked for blackfishing, which is where you use makeup to make yourself look black. But yeah, I had actually heard of this one before.
Yeah, she has her own makeup line. She seems like she's got it going on and just likes to hang out with these guys. Like, it doesn't seem like she needs it. She just hangs out. These are her friends. Sounds great.
She was one of the, I thought, more entertaining / compelling people on the show.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Basically, for the main drama of this episode of getting Lil Hoodie and dad of the house to talk, she was the one sort of facilitating that and like sort of prodding them, like, if you talk to the other guy. Yeah,
when she comes and interrupts that photo shoot, it was very entertaining. I thought that was like, and I thought, the last person that has any note in this episode is Larry. I don't know.
Let me talk about this immediately. His real name, Larri. His like channel name is Larray.
Okay. So he's Larry.
So you can call him Larry, like a normal name, maybe spelled a little different, but call him Larry.
Okay. He's 22. He's a Hype House member. He does not live at the Hype House. He's mostly friends with Nikita. And he also seemed gay. He's on the LGBT spectrum, is from his own words, but, don't put words in people's mouths. There isn't a whole lot to say about this guy, but he was there.
There is one thing to say, which is he was not a founding member of Hype House, but when he announced he was joining Hype House, his followers were like, that's a bunch of rich white kids. And I, at that point, being a fucking white person, had not realized every single fucking person on the show is white, except him and Nikita.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, when you're making funny YouTube videos in your backyard.
Yeah.
There was also a guy named Jack. He's 17. He showed up. He came up for a second, and he said that Chase's house reminded him of the Cheesecake Factory, and I thought that was pretty funny.
That is one place you do not want to be reminded of.
Yeah. I mean, Chase's house is pretty baller. It's got a pool.
And yeah, which I didn't really get like the whole Cheesecake Factory thing from that, but
I think it's just like you just kind of like had the ambiance of a Cheesecake Factory, like dark and like, it's got an aesthetic. Cheesecake Factory does. And I guess so. I don't know. Baller? I don't get it.
Cheesecake does not have a baller.
It does look like a Cheesecake Factory.
Like, I don't know. I'll tell you. But yeah, I mean, you kind of get to choose people, see them have a pool party. That's about it. Any other minutia anyone wants to really talk about?
Oh, I got a lot of minutia for you. I am full of minutia. Boy, okay. I thought it was interesting that actually for a lot of their videos, they use like good Nikons and they upload it to TikTok after the fact. Like they're not just using the shitty iPhone camera.
I mean, the iPhone camera isn't shitty. It's just probably,
what I mean?
Yeah. They're doing something more.
There's a lot of production. There's a lot of production. It's a lot more professional than I thought.
I mean, feel like 90% of TikTok videos I've seen have to have some sort of production going on in them.
Yeah, you're not ad hoc recording these things and like making a banger.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to like.
Hey, Chris knows a thing or two about producing TikToks.
Oh yeah, he does.
Let's see. Okay. I also want to talk about so Lil Huddy is getting into music. Charlie D'Amelio is also trying to get into music. A lot of these bigger TikTok stars are trying to pivot out of just TikTok into some other field, which I think is pretty common for social media stars. Like, they know that's not going to go forever. But yeah.
I mean, there's a couple things about that. So TikTok is very like algorithm oriented. So, and like, it's owned by China. So like the algorithm can change at the drop of a hat, or like you could just not be liked anymore and get no views. So like you kind of gotta try to get off TikTok a little bit, at least go to YouTube. But like, these things are so stressful. Like if you're on YouTube, you got to make a good video once a week, or like, the really good ones, you got to make it like once a day, or like 3 or 4 times a week. That's very stressful. Then the comments, and it's just like a very stressful like job, or like something to try to do that it's not for me.
Plus, the more content you create, the more chance you have of getting canceled, and then your income's over. Yeah,
I mean, people don't usually get canceled for their content that much. They usually get canceled for their, they get canceled because they have power, and then they abuse the power, and then they get called on abusing their power. Is mostly when people get canceled. But
yeah, I don't remember like what it was at the beginning. Like they mentioned like a bunch of people getting canceled or something.
One dude said that he doesn't. My biggest fear is not getting canceled, but getting canceled for something I didn't do. Was the quote at the beginning of the episode. I don't know who said it, because you're right, Brian, those names went by, and who knows.
I tried. That's because half the people in the house don't fucking matter.
So there's like 4 people in this house right now, or 5 people.
Like right now today.
Yeah. Like if you exclude the 4 people, you've got Thomas, you got the couple, you got Jake. And you've got, or I don't even know if Jake lives. You got
the people Vinny in the house today are not the people on the show. This was filmed in early 2021.
So there's a whole Vinny and them aren't in the house. Who's in the house today? Max.
Bunch of fucking nobodies. I don't fucking know.
So no one on the show is
currently. Millennial? No, Alex Warren and his lady friend are still there.
Okay. Yes.
Cover.
So 3 people that are on the show are still in the house.
Yeah.
There's nothing more. I mean, they're all hanging out there at the very least. Like, I mean, you had Vinny, Jack. I think Jack was in there too. Mia was another person. Just wasn't in this episode.
Yeah, she was dating Thomas. I think I wrote down.
It's weird that like her Chiron, whatever, just said Mia dating other person. Like,
that's so shitty.
There's also a Michael and a Patrick at some point.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if they live in the house or not. But I get the appeal of this house though. Like, I just think it's a little too freeform. Like, come and we're gonna make fun videos. But like, it really, once somebody once you graduate this house, it's not like, hey, come and learn how to make great videos. Maybe it is. I don't know. Just like not accomplishing its goals. It's pulling in people that have 12 million followers on TikTok, and then maybe they leave when they have 15. Like, it's not like they're not making great works of art here. It's like, come and do our start house where we're going to make startups like in Silicon Valley. That seems like way more value to your life than come to this house and make TikTok videos.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of shitty startups out there.
Well, you're not wrong, Brian.
Yeah. So this is at least getting
out of the minutia we got. I got a couple.
Go ahead, Max. Hit us up.
Nikita's stylist is a person of indeterminate gender named Ariel. They have a whale tail. I haven't seen a whale tail since high school in 2006.
Yeah, that whale tail was really fucking prominent.
Wild.
Also on the front. What's the front whale tail?
The front of a whale tail? I don't know.
What is a whale tail?
A whale tail
is. Take it away, Brian.
No, you got this, Max.
It's kind of like a G-string or a thong, but like the straps go way, way up, and you can sort of see the string, and then where the band's around the top, like coming out of the jeans. It was very much en vogue in like early 2000s, and it's been dead for a long time as far as I was
aware. I see this. I see it now.
I
think it's just a whale tail in the front and the back. But I don't know. That's what this whale tail fashion trend has them from the front.
Yep.
And the back. So
what else? Cover and Alex go strawberry picking, and that's literally all that happens in that scene.
Well, I think that we learn a lot we get connecting with those people, like, because we find out they're in a relationship, and like they talk about that in their YouTube and TikTok videos, and trying to separate the two, which has got to be hard because that dude is 20 and probably just pulls like a million pranks on everyone, including her. Like, that's got to put a lot of strain on a relationship.
Can I give you guys some spoilers about the rest of the season?
Sure.
Regarding pranks?
Well, go ahead.
Brian, was that a no?
No, yeah, you can do it.
Okay, listeners, cover your ears if you don't want any spoilers. He does a prank where he proposes to her, but doesn't mean it. It's fucked up.
So one of the TikTok, we dived a little bit into like his TikTok or the Hype House TikTok. And one of the videos I saw, they were like, oh, but there's no wedding ring on this one. I'm like, oh, are they getting married? But now this is like even.
That was in the article I read too. Like, he seems like, I mean, at 20, that's all I would want to do too. I definitely love pranks. I love pranks way more at that age than I do right now. These people are so young. Like,
Chris, what are you talking about? You love Impractical Jokers.
Pranks are like, that doesn't mean that I like doing or having pranks played on me at this age. Like, 10 years ago, 100% I'd like more pranks than today. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that segment was just kind of boring. That's why I didn't really, it was just like.
We learned how much a tractor costs, and that Alex wants to buy one.
I can't imagine a tractor only costs $5,000 to $15,000. Those are some shitty tractors.
The $5,000 one, yeah.
Tractors cost so much money, dude. I can't imagine that's $5,000 to $15,000. Like, the reason farming is so expensive because you got to buy those tractors, and those tractors I thought were like $100,000 to like $1 million, like $100,000 to $1 million.
Yeah, I also thought the repairs were like pretty expensive because John Deere locked them in. I mean, fuck you, John Deere.
Yeah. I mean, I'm out of minutia. If you have any other minutia to talk about, Max.
I have some tractor minutia.
Okay.
You can buy Lamborghini as a company started not making cars but tractors, and they still make tractors to this day. And you can buy a Lamborghini tractor for about $90,000.
So we would expect that to be on the high end.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Can you imagine a
other minutia?
Tractor?
Little Huddy has a photo shoot. Not that much goes on there, but he and Nikita have like a semi-touching moment. They're just chilling. They're hanging. It seemed like a real moment in
it's a brisk 30-minute show too, so it's not like there's not a whole lot of extra time in here.
Yeah, shout out to 30-minute shows. Not everything needs to be fucking 90-minute premiere.
Oh yeah, 90-minute premiere. I have to say that I've been reading some articles about the show, and it feels like this is the peak of Hype House, and it goes downhill from here. And I'm real excited to figure out to watch. I'm like legit excited to see how this thing like crashes and burns.
I mean, I think this is past the apex. This is the decline, the beginning.
You're not wrong, Max. But I'm saying in terms of the show, this is peak, and it just goes downhill from here. And it's more about the psychological effects of being a TikTok star, and that sounds very compelling to me. That said, should we get into questions? Should we do questions? All right, let's do it. Who's the worst human being in this episode?
Whoever designed Little Huddy's Cheesecake Factory.
Jake? Is it the guy that said it looked like a Cheesecake Factory?
No, whoever designed it. If it was Little Huddy and he designed his house, I'm sorry, Little Huddy, you're the worst.
You're the worst. Who is the worst? I don't know, Brad.
Nobody was awful in this episode, which is shocking.
I put Alex a little bit of a douche when they were strawberry picking.
Yeah, he gives off a douche vibe for sure. Well, maybe it's Nikita for telling people they didn't wear deodorant and they need to.
I think that is a valid concern.
Yes.
You should be able to tell your friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She should tell them and like hand them deodorant, not just like be around them and be smelly. I don't know. I agree with you. Can't really think of anyone.
Which I need to say, that's shocking. We just watched 30 minutes of fucking TikTok 20-year-olds, and we don't have somebody that we truly despise. That's actually genuinely shocking.
Yep. It's got to be due to the editing of the show, right? Like, or maybe just like young kids are not as terrible when we were, because I feel like I'd be an asshole at that age.
Speak for yourself. I was a perfect little angel.
Oh yeah. Let me get your mom in here. Let me ask.
I think
it's 11:30 PST. I'm not getting my mom.
Oh. I do think that these kids like grew up in a different circumstance than most of the 20-year-olds. I also think that like most kids these days are kind of nicer. They're less asshole-y. Because now we're actually embracing things like mental health and shit. Only a little bit, but
there was one kid that pushed another kid in the pool. You know, that's that could qualify you, but I don't know who it is, so it's hard to rain that down. All right, let's move on. There's no host. We talked about all the minutia. What do you think the production schedule of this show was? Like, how long do they follow these people?
Don't know, don't care.
Brian, what do you think?
I'd say 3 months. Without knowing how many episodes there are, I would say about like an episode a week. Because they've covered like a few days of events. Like we covered a photo shoot, we covered a sumo wrestling match in the house, we covered a couple visits randomly. Like, I don't think that could be done like.
It doesn't have to be chronological though. That's what I think. But I agree with you. I think it is at least a month to 3 months. I think it's like you go in, we're going to film this documentary. It's like definitely more of a documentary than a reality show. So we love to talk about this. Whereas like they would still be doing all this shit, whether they were filming or not. So it's kind of a documentary, but then they do interstitials like a reality show. So it's like, it's kind of, in between.
I don't know. I feel like when Chase's album comes out, it's going to be like, oh, this album's all about Hype House. Let's get it going. Yeah. And it's just that's going to be his promotion for it. Like, not like, oh, I wasn't doing videos for 6 months. Now we're launching an album. Boom. Focus on Hype House. I legitimately do not know if that is the case, though.
Here's a good question for you, Brian. Would this show be better as a Quibi?
Maybe. So I think like with like the standard, like, you know what? No, I'm going to go with no. They condensed it down to 30 minutes. It was fine. I don't condense it down further. They did a good job.
All right. I'll accept that answer, Brian. Brian, another question for you.
Oh, wait,
who's gonna hook up next?
Ooh.
And is it Nikita and Thomas?
Nikita and somebody. I don't think it's gonna be Thomas because like they already like said, hey, it's a brother sister relationship style.
Well, Nikita's 25. I feel like it would be really weird for her to hook up with Jake, who is 17, but it could happen.
Stranger things have happened.
All right, get ready for
the universe. They'll hook up with somebody from Stranger Things.
Get ready for this. All right, what do you love about the show? And I'll go first while you guys think about it. I think the show is moving. I think that it is interesting to see young people do TikTok, be TikTok stars. Whether I really care about them or not is a different question. But like, I think it's interesting. And I think the compelling argument about how this is like the fall of a TikTok influencer house sounds even more compelling. So, yeah. Brian, what do you love about this show?
I love how positive it is. There's not really like any hatred and stuff. It's more like everybody supporting one another.
I think that's got to change any moment now.
Max, what do you love about the show?
Man, I had one on the tip of my tongue. Fuck. I don't remember. Sorry, guys.
All right, we'll get back to you on that. Let's do drinking rules. As we know, we're famous drinking rules. I'll start with anytime you see a camera, take a drink. Brian, what do you got for me?
Ooh, every time there's a photo shoot, take a drink.
So you're just drinking for the camera and the photos?
No, well, I guess like, yeah, I forgot that there's a lot of cameras like that you see around there. I was just thinking like there's a lot of like photo opportunities and stuff happening.
Yeah, that's why I said like, there was a camera.
Yeah. Okay, I need to change mine. Come back.
Max, what do you got for me?
You're not going to like this one. Every time you see a cut to a TikTok clip, take a drink.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. What do you mean I wasn't going to like? That's a good one. What about?
Also, I remembered what I liked about the show. I like that it sort of paints Huddy in particular how fucking sad some of these kids are about their job. Like, this is good. This is a good way to stop kids from becoming social media influencers.
I hope so. That's what I'm looking for in this whole overall show for sure. I think every time they curse, you should take a drink because there isn't that many, but they do it. So, Brian, what do you got for me?
Drink every time somebody drops their follower count or how much they make.
Ooh, how much they spend. Like once they talk about spending any terms of money, I feel like it's good. That's a good rule.
Yeah.
Max, what do you got for me?
Every time somebody name drops a brand of car like Rolls Royce or G-Wagon, you gotta say vroom vroom and then take a shot.
Yeah, you gotta do it for all the Bang energy drinks, dude.
I was about to say that. I was like, anytime you see a Bang energy drink, you drink. I feel like that's really hard though. That's a hard one. All right. That's it. Let's do our last question. We have stack ranking system between top, middle, bottom, third compared to other reality shows. Max, what do you got for
me? I went into this expecting to truly hate it, and I didn't. I don't necessarily need to watch more, but it's going to land in the middle third. I'll say middle of the middle. Like there wasn't that much telling me, oh, come back, but there wasn't anything telling me, oh, stay away from the show. So middle of the middle.
Brian, what do you got for me?
I was also going to say middle of the middle, mostly because I want to learn some TikTok tricks. But I also don't think the drama was like that bad in this. And 30 minutes is fine.
Noah sent me his rating. He said, hold on, let me pull it up because I'm terrible.
Wait. Brian and I should try and guess what Noah said.
Okay, do it.
Ooh. I'm going to go with
top of the top.
I was going to go bottom of the top.
One of you is right, and it is Brian. Bottom of the top. Okay. No explanation, just bottom of the top. Tweet at us if you want to know why he does bottom of the top. I'm going to go with middle third with a caveat that it could swing the top third. Because I'm very curious about how this show pans out, and I want to watch it, but it wasn't that entertaining. And if it wasn't for reading the articles, I would never watch another episode. So it's gonna stay in the middle. I'll bring it back next week when I watched the rest or watch more. So it's just like it's entertaining, but it's just like, do I really care about these people or not? But if it's like a house of falling Usher, like I'm very curious about that. I want to see that. So that's why I'm gonna watch more. That's it for our discussion of the show. Anyone got any shout outs this week? Max.
I have a shout out. There's a reporter in the New York Times named Taylor Lawrence who kind of reports on what the teens are up to, but from a millennial lens. I think she's like 34 or something. I could be completely wrong. Anyway, all her articles are great. She, predicted this show coming out 2 years ago. She rules. Read her stuff. Also, I started watching White Lotus. Great show.
I watched it too. I thought it was good. Brian, shout out.
Yes. There's a new season of Queer Eye on Netflix. Now, I know that a lot of us watched the last season and did not like it just because of how they ran it. This one is way better. This is going back to its roots.
I watched an episode with a doctor lady. Is that this season?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. And if you watched the random episode, I don't know. I've seen 2 episodes or something. There was a trans woman, I think, in the one episode I watched.
Yes, there was.
Let's see. A couple new shows are back. The Righteous Gemstones is back. Very good. I think that show's very fun. One anti shout out. I mean, one show that I don't get that other people say is good. I watched Yellowstone yesterday, the first episode. Talk about 90-minute episode, Max. 90 minutes. It was so boring. Please tweet at me, tweet at us. Let me know what the hell this show's about, because I almost fell asleep. It was so boring. I didn't get it. And one last shout out to not end it on that is the Book of Boba Fett is out. It's good. Watch it. It's not amazing.
The what now?
Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah.
The Disney machine keeps rolling them out. Oh. If you get behind, forget it. You'll never catch up. So just stay there.
I just finished Hawkeye 2. I'm catching up.
Just wait till they have Marvel and Star Wars shows at the same time.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, that's it for us this week. You can find us on TikTok at Who Put This On Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Who Put This On, where you can find a poll where you can tell us what you thought about the show. You can find us on Facebook.com/Who Put This On. Who cares? And we'll see you guys next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Also, rate us on Spotify.